back to the HaneyBiz Project with host Mark Haney.
All right. Welcome back to the HaneyBiz Project, brought to you courtesy of Sun System Technology. I'm Mark Haney, and today I am joined by Arik Levy, founder of Luxer One and the Laundry Locker. Now, Arik, tell us how you took Laundry Locker and it turned into Luxer One. What did you do? What jumped out to you that said, you know what? I see an opportunity here. I'm going to make a little shift in my business.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, Mark.
You bet.
It's great to be here today and share my story with you. So about 12 years ago, started Laundry Locker. I literally could never get my dry cleaning done because worked normal hours. And in fact, there was a dry cleaner in my apartment building. And so I could never get my dry cleaner. There was a dry cleaner in my apartment building, but literally I'd leave before they were open and get back. I'm sure a lot of you guys can share that. So I came up with this concept. I said, if there's a locker in my building, this would be amazing. Let me give this a try. Always says, I don't consider myself, or at least didn't consider myself at the time, an entrepreneur. I didn't really have that, I can't work for the man. I had a great job working for the man, enjoyed it. Started my career at General Electric. And, but I always said, if I have a good idea, I want to give it a try. I want to prove to myself that, I can actually make this work. So that's how Laundry Locker was born.
You saw in the laundry business, you're living in an apartment and said, you know what? I see an opportunity because you saw a problem in your own life.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
what was that business? You created a locker for laundry for apartment complexes?
Yeah, to me, it's kind of one of those, wow, this idea is just too stupid, too simple to be true. Why isn't anybody doing this? So it's like, somebody's got to be doing this. I searched high and low. Somebody's got to be putting lockers in buildings, and people just drop their laundry off, and sure enough, there wasn't. So that's how Laundry Locker was born. I got the great name, which, was awesome, especially when you're starting new, and having a name that's just really descriptive was really helpful. So I went out, bought some lockers, knocked on some apartment doors, said, can I put these in here and give it a try? And within about 3 years, we became the largest dry cleaner in San Francisco.
Wow.
And so, still hold that title. We've had a lot of stiff competition. It's been a fun ride, and still owning. And
but what differentiates you is that somebody goes around and actually picks up the laundry at the apartment complex or at the location, takes it back, gets it cleaned, and then returns it back to you. You never have to drive over to the laundromat anymore. Or it does dry cleaning and regular laundry?
Yeah, dry cleaning and wash and fold.
Okay.
The number one reason someone chooses a dry cleaner is convenience, right?
Okay.
You're going to one that's most convenient for you. It's the guy who's on your way to work or maybe picks up from your house. So if there's a locker literally outside your apartment, that's the one you're going to default to if it's the easiest. And so that's, we win the convenience game all day. We run our plant overnight, so it comes in during the day, we process it overnight, return it back to you the next day. Really high quality product. We're killing it out there. It's a lot of fun.
That's great. Well, now something led you, at some point a light bulb went off and said, you know what? I think there's a way to use what we've learned here at Laundry Locker to do something new. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so what happened there is actually another company called Drop Locker, which is another company I founded, and that's actually the software that runs Laundry Locker. And so we were looking at how do we expand Laundry Locker beyond San Francisco and start to license out. Figured, looked at private equity, and we're pretty close to doing that. Looked at franchising, and we actually became a California franchise and then scrapped that and said, actually, the best business model here is for us to license our software. We had a lot of dry cleaners coming out and saying, hey, I want to do it, but I want to do it under my brand. It's my. So we said, we'll sell you the software. So right now we have about 75, we call them partners all over the world. We're probably in about 15 different countries, all running this same business model. So if you're in, Chicago and there's somebody with lockers in your apartment building, it's probably running our platform. It's based off that Laundry Locker legacy. So all those partners, as well as us in San Francisco, when I first started, and we're primarily in apartment buildings, the leasing office would get 2 or 3 packages a day. UPS drops off a package, says, hey, can you hold this for us? The guy's not in his apartment. The guy comes down. The girl comes down after 5, says, hey, do you have my package? They go, yeah, sure, here you go. Well, it's 1 or 2 packages. Well, through the time that Laundry Locker was around, probably really around 2010 is when it really started to take off with this e-commerce stuff.
Right.
And it went from 2 or 3 packages a day to 40, 50, 100 packages a day.
Wow.
And these guys are swimming in packages, and they're going, can you help us solve this problem?
The apartment manager, the person that's overseeing that, is just bombarded with boxes, and so you have to solve the problem for the apartment complex. And I would think that the tenant maybe even having stuff getting ripped off if it's not put in something more secure.
Oh, yeah. We call it a 3-legged stool when we talk about how our solution solves the problem. But you've got the residents who want to access their packages. And if you're a resident in an apartment building, the number 2 most sought after amenity is access to packages.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've lived in an apartment in a city like San Francisco, but you can't get packages. Unless you've got a doorman, you're not getting packages. And now offices don't want to accept the packages. So what do? So all this, amazing e-commerce is great, but it breaks down at that last couple inches. And so, UPS will try to do nighttime deliveries. They're trying to inject through U.S. Postal Service to get you these packages, but still lots of struggle there. So you got the residents, you have the properties who are saying, man, this was 1 or 2 packages. Now it's a full-time job. I've got to hire somebody full-time just to handle packages. And a lot of these properties are, because they know it's a great amenity that helps them get residents in the building. And then the third constituent is the carrier, right? So the UPS, the FedEx guy who's got to walk around that building, spending an hour, knock on every door. Sorry, I missed you. Take the package back, come back the next day and try to get it delivered. And that's what the Luxer One problem solution solves.
Make it easier, even for the UPS guy. Yeah, he probably loves you.
Yeah, they do.
Now, so you got this great product. Who buys the product? How do you take it to market?
Yeah, so our current business model as it is today is that we sell it to the property. So typically the property is the one who's got an ROI because they've started investing in this and putting staff behind it. They might have a full-time person who's handling packages. You can put in one of our locker systems and typical ROI is somewhere in the 6 to 9 months for them to pay back that investment.
Okay.
So that's who our current customer is the property. We think that'll change over time.
How do you get the UPS guy to pay you? It sounds like you're saving that guy a lot of work. You're saving a lot of wear and tear on that body.
Well, you think like I do, Mark. So actually, we came to market a little bit later than we should have because the first year, I went out with this product. The same thing as with Laundry Locker knocking on doors. Hey, you want to buy some lockers? And these guys are like, yeah, we got the problem, but it's not our problem. It's Amazon's problem. It's UPS's problem. We shouldn't have to pay to put in lockers. And so, we said, okay, well, we've got the 3 constituents. The property doesn't want to pay. Residents don't want to pay, right? I mean, everybody knows that. It wasn't until Amazon started doing free shipping that Amazon really started taking off, right? People are not willing to pay for shipping. And then, so we went to the carriers and said, well, listen, we're going to save you a ton of money.
Yeah.
It costs them about 40% of the cost of a delivery is that last mile. Right? And so we can save them. We can guarantee them first-time delivery. We can reduce the amount of time it takes for them to walk around the property. And so it's huge savings for the carriers. So our business model is let's go out to UPS, let's go to FedEx, and talk to them about how we can save them money and share in that cost savings for them. Unfortunately, small guy with a startup, no locations. These guys are delivering millions and millions of packages a day. Why are we going to get sort of in bed with you? You got to go out and prove the model before we're interested. But even still, we deliver over 500,000 packages a month. We're still just a little blip on the radar. But It really is taking off. I mean, this package industry, I've kind of fallen into something that I didn't think it would be what it was, and it's going nuts.
How do you measure your growth? Is it number of packages? Is it revenue? I mean, is there a way when you gather the team around and say, hey guys, we're doing good, what kind of numbers or metrics, do you guys talk about?
Yeah, I mean, all over the board. For me personally, I measure it by revenue, right? So
hey,
that's the
no
number
doubt.
I'm looking at every day, right? But some of the key metrics, the leading indicators that lead to that, right, are number of packages delivered per day, number of packages per month, number of properties that we've got our lockers in. So those are the key things that we're looking at as an organization.
Well, you guys are having very fast growth. I guess if there's one word that might describe your growth, what would it be? Astronomical?
Yeah,
I mean, because you guys are growing very, very rapidly, and I guess and you're a humble guy, so you don't want to maybe speak in those terms, but I mean, I'm thinking about the Amazon effect and how so many small businesses may be affected negatively by an Amazon effect. Others have found a way to, I guess, be creative, and that's you guys. I mean, you guys have. I guess you've skated to where the puck is going to be, and so I call that a secret. When you have an idea that nobody else has yet thought of, that's kind of like a secret. And so my question is, how do you decide who you're going to tell your secrets to? I mean, who do you tell them to, and how do you decide who gets to know the secret sauce from Luxer One? Yeah, well, I mean, it's our customers, right? I mean, we want to convince them that we know the secrets that our competitors don't. And we do. I mean, we know how to get the carriers on board. We know how to make the solution work. And so, that's who we're sharing the secrets with, obviously our internal team as well. Right. Any constituents that we have. And so,
obviously this Amazon effect is we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Amazon. Well, and online commerce growing 25% a month or a year, right? 25% year over year growth for e-commerce. We've got a lot of catching up to do, right? So every one of these apartment buildings needs a way to solve it. The smaller buildings need to solve it. The 4-unit complexes in downtown Sacramento need to solve it. So there is a massive market opportunity, and we're just touching the surface.
Who's your competition?
We've got a couple other players in the space. So in the multifamily space, there's really kind of 3 of us.
Okay.
And multifamily has really been the first one to grab hold of this concept. But we're starting to see some really amazing opportunities. I mean, you're going to start seeing it in retail. We're working with a couple pilots with some of the largest retailers in the country.
I saw something with Safeway at Amazon the other day. I saw something. Yeah,
well, I mean, Amazon just bought Whole Foods, right? So they're putting the lockers into Whole Foods. Amazon lockers has been a big concept for them for a long time, and everybody else is kind of playing catch up. Because we talk about the 4-unit complex in Sacramento, right? How do you get a package delivered there? You can't. So maybe you get to the office if you're lucky, but a lot of times that they don't want to accept it. And so Amazon, what they've done, they've started to deploy lockers. So they'll put them in a 7-Eleven, they're putting them in a Safeway. And your package now, if you weren't an online customer, now you've got a locker down the street. You can get your package delivered to that locker, and you've got a secure, easy way to pick it up when you want.
What a great idea. We only have 40 or 50 seconds left, but you and I are both members of the Entrepreneurs Organization of Sacramento. You're on the board. I'm a board member in a way, and coming back on the board. But talk to me about the Entrepreneurs Organization of Sacramento. I mean, it's guys like you that make EO so great, but what do you get out of EO?
Well, I mean, it's guys like you that make it great, right? I mean, what I get is an amazing network of people. When I moved up here to Sacramento, first thing I said is, how do I get into EO? How do I find a bunch of like-minded people who can help me grow my business? I mean, when I first joined EO, we were doing about $3 million in sales. I mean, this year we'll probably clear over $25 million in sales.
Wow.
Right? And I attribute a lot of that to EO. I mean, there's things that I brought to EO and my team there and my group of entrepreneurs that just helped me grow as a better person. I was a single guy in Sacramento and San Francisco. Now I'm married. I've got 2 little kids. I mean, it's just, and I even attribute a lot of that to it. So it's really just, as an entrepreneur, we have no place to go, right? We have nobody that we can talk to who understands what we're feeling. But you and I can sit down in a bar and have a whole different level of conversation than anybody else can. And that's because of EO.
Yeah, no question. EO, great organization. To me, I always think of my form. It's kind of like AA for entrepreneurs, where we get sort of addicted to entrepreneurship, but we can go in there and talk to our peers about this addiction and this love that we have for building businesses. I want to thank you for coming on the show, Arik. I gotta jump to break, because coming up after the break, we're gonna have John Gregory. He is the Vice President of Venture Banking for 5 Star Bank. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of Audi Rockland. This is the HaneyBiz Project.